Welcome to the deep dive. Usually when a major corporation starts slashing tens of thousands of jobs, the narrative is, well, it's entirely predictable.
Right, the ship is sinking.
Exactly. Revenue is plunging, the market is panicking, and executives are desperately trying to patch a hole. But early 2025 gave us this massive industry-wide paradox.
It really did. The
What?
cognitive dissonance is just tremendous.
I mean, between January and March, you had the biggest tech companies on the planet boasting record-breaking profits. They were just flush with cash. And yet, simultaneously, they laid off over 55,000 employees.
Which is staggering.
Yeah, if you break down the math, it translates to roughly 736 tech workers losing their livelihoods every single day during a period of, unprecedented financial success.
Right, you have this undeniable apex of financial performance occurring at the exact same moment as a brutal workforce contraction.
So, today we're unpacking a fascinating paper by Dr. Jonathan H. Westover on what he calls the Great AI Pivot. And our mission for you today is to really figure out why this is happening, what it means for the people involved, and how it completely rewrites the rules of the modern workplace.
And to really grasp the scale of this pivot, you have to look at where those salaries are actually going. I want you to picture a sprawling, futuristic server farm.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It's spanning dozens of acres, thousands of physical servers stacked to the ceiling, massive industrial cooling towers humming along, just consuming the energy equivalent of a small city.
Wow.
That is the physical manifestation of this shift. Those 55,000 salaries, they are being directly converted into raw computing power.
So they're explicitly funding this pivot.
Exactly. We are talking about a $650 billion collective investment in AI infrastructure. Block co-founder Jack Dorsey actually called this a structural transformation that most businesses will soon make.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because normally a company lays people off because they are in trouble, but here the ship is winning races, and they're throwing the crew overboard to buy a robotic steering wheel. How is this actually different from traditional cost cutting?
Well, what's fascinating here is the concept of strategic downsizing. It's not macroeconomic panic. It's a reinforcing cycle.
How so?
Companies are deliberately cutting human headcount, not because the humans are failing, but to free up the capital to buy the automation infrastructure. And that infrastructure will then justify further cuts.
So it's an engine designed to feed itself.
Precisely. Look at the numbers. Amazon cut 16,000 corporate roles. Block slashed a massive 40% of its workforce in one go.
Wait, 40%? That's almost half the company.
Yeah. And Atlassian cut 1,600 roles while heavily investing in AI collaboration tools. Meta and Oracle have been evaluating cuts of 16,000 and 30,000 roles.
Wow.
But the real shift, the thing that makes this different, is the target. Historically, automation went after lower-tier, routine manual jobs.
Right, like the assembly line or data entry.
Exactly. But now,
Okay.
it's coming for corporate, managerial, and highly specialized technical roles. Middle management is directly in the crosshairs.
Okay, let me push back on that for a second. Let's play devil's advocate.
Sure.
If labor is, 60 to 70% of a tech firm's operating expenses, doesn't slashing 40% of your staff guarantee a massive financial win?
On paper, yes.
Right. So Wall Street applauds, your margins widen, and you buy the best chips on the market. Why shouldn't a company do this?
Well, while the balance sheet looks pristine on day one, aggressive downsizing carries a severe hidden organizational penalty. Research shows that when a company cuts more than 15% of its workforce, they actually see a 5 to 15% drop in overall productivity.
Wait, a drop. But aren't they supposed to be more efficient?
You'd think so, but it typically takes an organization 12 to 24 months just to recover from that self-inflicted drop.
Why does it break down so profoundly, though?
Because of massive institutional knowledge loss, you lose the tacit, undocumented knowledge, the middle manager who knew exactly how to de-escalate your most volatile client, gone.
Oh, I see. It's like upgrading a library by buying fancy new shelves, but you fire all the librarians to pay for it.
That's a great way to put it.
The books are still there, but you've got junior employees wandering the aisles completely lost because the people who knew where the information lived are gone.
Exactly. And that compounds the pressure on everyone left behind. We see a lot of what's called survivor syndrome.
Which means the remaining employees feel lucky, right?
Actually, no. They generally feel overwhelmed and deeply anxious. Their workload doubles overnight to cover the gaps. In that environment, creative innovation completely stalls.
That makes sense. Everyone is just trying to survive the day.
Right. And then you run into the AI trap. If you rip out your human infrastructure, but the new AI system underperforms, which it often does at first, there are no humans left to pick up the slack.
So if a code writing AI pushes a systemic bug, there aren't enough QA testers to catch it.
Exactly. You've fired all your human shock absorbers.
Wow. And the human cost outside the company walls is just brutal. I mean, we're not just talking about 55,000 tech bros losing their job.
No, not at all. When you factor in dependents, it affects an estimated 150,000 family members.
And because it's happening all at once, the local labor markets are totally saturated.
Completely. A software engineer in Seattle isn't just looking for a job, they're competing with thousands of identical resumes. The psychological toll is immense, especially for workers who derive their identity from these big tech giants.
So knowing all this and knowing this pivot is happening, whether we like it or not, what does this mean for the leaders actually making these cuts?
Well, it's a huge challenge.
Yeah, how do you fire thousands of people to buy servers and not become the villain? How do you not destroy your culture?
It hinges on organizational justice theory, specifically procedural justice.
Procedural justice, what is that exactly?
It's the idea that humans can accept a really bad outcome, even losing their livelihood, if they fundamentally believe the process was fair, consistent, and respectful.
Ah, okay. So transparent communication is the key.
It is the ultimate protective factor. Microsoft is a great example. Back in 2023, they provided 6 months of healthcare and deep transition support.
And didn't Atlassian do something similar with transparency?
Yeah, Atlassian clearly explained the AI pivot rationale up front. They didn't hide behind vague corporate jargon. Google also used highly objective performance criteria and actually allowed appeals.
That's fascinating. But beyond just being nice about layoffs, smart companies are doing this differently, right?
Absolutely. The really sophisticated organizations do strategic workforce planning. Instead of blunt cuts, they do skills mapping.
Like that IBM program, Skilled Build.
Yes, exactly. IBM had legacy tech workers whose coding languages were becoming obsolete. The standard playbook is to just fire them.
Right, and hire new AI grads.
But IBM mapped their underlying capabilities and reskilled them into AI and cloud roles instead. They realized that foundational architectural thinking is highly transferable.
That's brilliant. And that applies to role redesign too, doesn't it?
Definitely. Take a customer service rep. Their routine tasks get automated by an AI agent.
So the company fires them.
A reactive company does. A strategic company shifts that rep to complex problem resolution. They handle the nuanced escalations that require human empathy and context, things AI currently lacks entirely.
Here's where it gets really interesting for you listening, because this isn't just about managing a single wave of layoffs. The sources show this is a prominent restructuring of the workplace.
It really is.
I mean, the old deal, you give us loyalty, we give you a secure career, that is officially dead.
Psychologists call it psychological contract recalibration. Companies simply can no longer implicitly promise job security.
So what's the new deal then?
It's a portable skills commitment. Employers have to be brutally honest about their automation trajectories. In exchange for hard work today, they help employees learn skills they can take anywhere.
Like Automatic, right? The
Right.
company behind WordPress.
Exactly. They operate on continuous learning and flexible role definitions rather than traditional job stability.
And with middle management gutted, how do these companies even function? Who's in charge?
You have to shift to distributed leadership, self-managing teams. Spotify's squad, tribe, and guild model is a prime example of this.
So expertise replaces traditional hierarchies.
Right. But, and this is crucial, you need massive continuous learning systems. You can't just buy the servers. Microsoft's heavy investment in internal AI literacy proves this. You have to teach the surviving humans how to work with the technology.
Bringing this directly back to you, the listener. Even if you don't work at Amazon or Oracle, this great AI pivot is the canary in the coal mine for literally every industry.
It absolutely is.
It's a massive wake-up call to focus on portable skills and continuous learning.
To synthesize the core takeaway here, technological progress and human flourishing don't have to be opposites. But balancing them requires extreme organizational transparency and a real commitment to helping workers evolve alongside the tools.
Right. But it does leave us with one final, incredibly provocative question.
What's that?
Well, if companies eliminate all the routine, entry-level, and middle management tasks to fund this AI, where will the next generation of senior human experts actually come from?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. I mean, if AI does all the learning on the basic stuff, how do human workers ever get the foundational experience needed to actually oversee the AI? Something to think about.